NNPC CFO. You can check that on page 25 as well. And 17 soldiers killed, 10 others injured in battle with terrorists in Niger. That's coming from the CDS. And military deploys 800 special forces to combat insecurity. That's on page 5. On 2027, we have 110 associations for party registration coming from INEC, and that's on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune. And now a quick look at the Daily Times newspaper, and here we have few headlines. All right, President Tinubu to sign major tax reform bills today, Thursday. That's on page 7. Senate confirms non-indigent as Rivers Electoral Commission chairman. That's on page 2. Ohanaeze to governors, we will hold you culpable if Fulani militias strike southeast. That's on page 2 as well. Troops in 3 hours, heavy gun battle for terrorist attacks in Niger. That's on page 5. And workers at risk as state-run compensation scheme. NSITF boss warns. That's on page 6. Reps direct federal government to build army base in Yellowater. That's on page 2. And Afenifere chief, ex-governor Adebayo, dies at 84. That's on page 8. A National Working Committee disowns Damagun. Ayawu says NEC on course. That's also on page 9 of the Daily Times newspaper. We have some other ones from the Daily Trust newspaper. Soldiers, bandits in bloody clash in Niger. Many feared dead. You get to check that on page 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Tinubu to sign tax reform bills today. That's also from page 12. And party registration, ADA obedient among 110 applicants. That's coming from INEC, and that's on page 16. And then you can also check this one, running mate, I will do whatever Tinubu wants in 2027, coming from Barao. You can see that story on page 17. And on PDP, 11 National Working Committee member, disown Damagun, rejects Ayawu's restatement. That's also from the Daily Trust newspaper. 5 arrested over deaths of 2 Kano youths. Imagine. All right, that's on page 40 as well. And landmine explosion, kill 4, injures 10 in Borno. That's on page 37. PDP chieftain, son, shot dead in Kwara. That's very tragic. That's also on page 37. And the last one for this morning, the Punch newspaper. We have a few headlines therein as well. On neck crisis, Makinde block revolts as INEC verdict tears PDP apart. Damagun, Saraki backs Wike allies return. Cancel June 30 neck. And also pro Makinde National Working Committee governors protests. That's also on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And the last headline from the Punch newspaper, ex-generals flag intelligence failure as bandits kill 17 soldiers. That's also on page 2 of the Punch newspapers. These are more the headlines making the rounds from our dailies. Now it's time for us to go into details of some of them, and part of the ones we get to touch this morning is our INEC is about to register about 110 new parties. That, of course, is probably erasing or not, erasing the one-party allegation of this current administration. And other ones we get to check this morning. Of course, we're going to talk about Peter Obi's comment saying that Nigeria is at war. Is that really the case? And then all that is happening in the PDP, if time permits, we'll probably talk about that as well. And there's a comment made by President Tinubu saying that I will actualize all my campaign promises. we get to talk about that as well. This and more we get to talk about this morning. With me in the house is Barrister Folusho Lakwo. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning, darling. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good morning, Nigerians. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it well, because you don't know what may happen next. Good morning. Do things very well. Good morning this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Remember, we're live on Facebook. On Facebook is at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Drop your comment right there and would love to read from you this morning. Now it's time for us to go into details of some of the major stories this morning. Let's start with the words of President saying, "I will actualize all my campaign promises." President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday assured the government and the people of Nasarawa State and Nigerians in general that his administration is committed to fulfilling all the promises made under the Renewed Hope agenda. The president also pledged continued support for Nasarawa State in developmental projects, particularly in the solid minerals and agricultural sectors. The Nigerian leader made the pledge during a visit to the Emir of Lafia, Justice Sidi Bagay Mohammed, at his palace. He praised Governor Abdullahi Sule, stating that his prudent deployment of resources has earned the trust of both the federal government and investors. While at the Emir of Lafia's palace, President Tinubu expresses delight at returning to Nasarawa, a development he noted confirmed what the Emir had told him during the 2023 campaigns, that he would return as President of Nigeria. "Thank you. You are a highly far-sighted individual, a committed Nigerian of high integrity," he said. He described Nasarawa State as a peaceful, stable, and steady progressing, acknowledging the credit must be given to Governor Sule and the Council of Traditional Rulers. He vowed, saying he would work harder to actualize all the promises of the Renewed Hope agenda. "All I have decided is to ensure a change for the future and the best." He also emphasized that the Renewed Hope agenda is aimed at repositioning the economy to benefit young Nigerians and future generations. Beautiful words from the president, but we want to know, when exactly are these promises going to be actualized? Because it seems the year is wrapping up already, and by 2026 all we'll get to hear is campaign or more about politics than governance. So is it when he comes back, that's if he ever comes back for the second term, or when exactly is he going to start actualizing his promises? Or maybe I should even say it like this: has he been actualizing all his campaign promises? If not, when will he start doing that? I know you might not be able to speak for the president, but I just want your reaction on that one.
Of course. Thank you. Of course, Mr. President is not talking about this thing. No, because if he cannot, in fact, nobody can even, complete whatever promises they give.
Okay.
Of course, that's one. Then two, whether or not any promises have been kept remains doubtful, because the few of them that one can remember, before I go to details of some of his promises, meaning that the prices of fuel will come down. Did it come down? Did the prices of foodstuff come down? That is two, just to mention two out of it. At least he has spent 2 years out of his 4-year first term. So that means he's not talking about this 4-year term, the first term. Maybe he's talking by the time he finishes the second term, that is 8th year. Probably he would have finished or he will complete his campaign promises. Now let us see. When you were reading that, I googled to just get a glimpse of his campaign promises.
Yes,
and
so
Punch brought it out. And this is Punch of, let me get the date so that they won't say it's me that is cooking things together. 21st October 2022. Manifesto, Tinubu's 10 promises to Nigerians. Excuse me. That's the title of that.
That's the headline.
That's the headline. Sorry for that. Tinubu's 10 Manifesto, Tinubu's 10 promises to Nigerians. Now, number 1, build a Nigeria, especially for our youth, where sufficient jobs with decent wages creates a better life. You say, do we have that? Okay. 2, manufacture, create, and invent more of the goods and services we require in Nigeria. Manufacture, create, and invent more of the goods and services we require. Nigeria shall be known as a nation of creators, not just consumers. Okay. 3, export more and import less, strengthening both the naira and our way of life. Naira crashed to the barest minimum. In fact, CFA is now even more powerful than the naira.
How are the mighty falling?
Okay. Number 4, continue assisting our ever toiling farmers through enlightened agricultural policy that promotes productivity and assures decent incomes, so that farmers can support their families and feed the nation.
Ask them in Benue State.
Number 5, modernize and expand public infrastructure so that the rest of the economy can grow at an optimal rate. 6, embolden and support our young people and women by harnessing emerging sectors such as the digital economy, entertainment and culture, tourism, and others to build the Nigeria of tomorrow today. We want to build the Nigeria of tomorrow today, and this many more because of time.
Yes, thank you very much for putting a stop to it.
Yes. I just brought that out because most of the time I do not like to talk ex factual, out of fact. I want to quote that man. He said, we are trying to,
we should make our research.
Side the people against government. Incite the people against government. Yes, that's what he said. But this is not inciting anybody. This is talking or saying the truth. At least we went back to the archives to bring out some of the promises that he is saying that he will complete or will fulfill before leaving. One, I am very, very sure that he cannot fulfill this within these 2 remaining years of this time.
Never can tell.
Okay. I can tell, of course I can.
We have 2 more years.
2 more years. What can 2 years do?
At least,
because all these things, one, you have to have a foundation for this thing.
Actually.
You have to find it, and there is nothing like foundation on ground already. Okay, let's take a Greek. What have you been seeing? What is federal government doing about a Greek?
I thought they gave them grant and loans. Loans. Okay.
And we were in this country when Adewumi Adesina was Minister for Agriculture.
Yes.
And when he brought all the farmers together, he ensured that he even said he was going to give them phone so that they can be calling. I think he gave them, and in fact he trains them too. We saw what government was doing. It's not just about money, and it's not about 20,000, 50,000. What can 50,000 do in farm today? Assuming that he even gave them the loan, how much?
What the pesticide that they will use?
And if they are going to give about 1 million loan, 2 million loan, it's not for these cut and cutlass. I mean, hoe and cutlass farmers. It is people that have portfolio, people that doesn't even know what is the difference between cassava and sugarcane, that they are going to give the loan. They will tell us that they are farmers. Like they were doing all this, they are social whatever. They are the poorest of the poorest. They just give about 2 or 3 people. They told us they've given. We saw what happened and why the then minister for social clinic have to to leave, to step aside. And what happened? Did government made her to face the responsibility or the consequences of her action? No. Today we never heard of better do again. So what I'm trying to say is this: it is not about talking. I like what my dear good friend and son usually say. He said they should be walking the talking. Walk the talk. It's not only about talking. If you are talking, make sure that you put things in place. There must be a foundation for everything. He talked about, create that Nigeria becomes creators. That means we will be manufacturing whatever we needed in this country. We will not be consumers. In fact, since he came to power, we have seen several companies going under. Even multinationals have to leave, including PZ, Procter and Gamble, made big firms like that. Multinationals, they left. The only thing we have in Nigeria is oil, and the oil have been mortgaged. In fact, we were talking to Aramco now for another loan, where we will put another part of gas of crude as collateral for that loan. So meaning that we'll be servicing the loan with crude in 1992, 91, during the Gulf War crisis, Nigeria makes millions of dollars because there were crises in those places. There is crisis in Iran, there is in Kuwait, there is in Ukraine, in Russia. All these places are oil producing states. And what do we have in Nigeria? Nothing. Because one, we are not even meeting the OPEC quota. Two, even our own. Because to me, I do not believe that whatever happens to international market regarding crude should be happening to us in Nigeria. Because we are the owner of the crude and we can excise, we can put a shock absorber between international prices and our prices. How do we do that? We have a company already that can produce more than we can even consume in Nigeria per day. So why can't we just give it in our own price? Because we are the owners of this thing. NNPC and the rest refineries are dead today. Of course, they told us they revived it, but we know better. But are they functioning today? Nothing. None of them. Both the Port Harcourt, the Warri, the Kaduna, the whatever, they are dead. So when politicians talk, let them remember that most of the things they say are in black and white. Some people will be writing them down. This is Punch of 2022 that I brought out. And of course,
2022, that's the same time he came into power.
Yes, and to me, I do not believe just in talking. What are the machineries put in place to ensure all these things? You want Nigeria to become productive? Are we productive today after 2 years? You want Nigeria to be rich? In fact, in everything. Are we rich in everything? In fact, he said one of the policies is that they are going to import foodstuff, drugs, and everything ex-duty. That policy never came to be, and Nigerians are still hungry. Nigeria are still being killed every day and all that. I think Mr. President should find another thing to say. To me, one is not talking about this time. Two, even if he's talking about the next 4 years that he intends to come back, I do not think he's ready, because he's not even doing what he promises to do. To me, I think he's doing the opposite of what he said he was going to do, until he remembers what all these promises and review his actions. Then probably he will start something. He will start doing what he's supposed to do. Now he's doing what he likes to do, not what he told Nigeria what he was going to do.
So that particular paper you read, Punch, you said yes. 2022.
Yes.
And he came into power 2023.
Yes, now this is his promise. He said campaign promises.
He was campaigning then. Sure. All right, we'll go on a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
Ventures, your ultimate shopping destination, stands out when it comes to meeting your event and family needs. Explore a wide range of products and services today. Buy affordable wholesale foods and drinks for your next event or home use. We are also the best blog to get your rentals, chairs, plates, spoons, table, coolers, drums, and all you need for your next event. At Femial Multi-Ventures, we also sell solid, durable, and affordable ice blocks to keep your drinks cool and refreshing. Come one, come all to also try our eatery and experience delicious meals like never before. You can find us at number 1 Pineapple Area, Iletitun, along Oki Ogunbade axis. Telephone 0912 345 4561 or 0904 254 5770. Femial Multi-Ventures, your one-stop shop, evidence of things not seen.
Don't forget we're live on Facebook. On Facebook is at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Drop your comment right there. I would love to read from you this morning. A quick one because our time is running. All right, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has revealed that the commission has so far received letters of intent from 110 associations seeking registration as political parties ahead of the 2027 general election. Yakubu made the disclosure on Wednesday during INEC's second quarterly consultative meeting with media executives held in Abuja. The INEC chairman said that as of June 23, the commission had received the letters and was diligently processing them in accordance with electoral laws and guidelines. As of Monday, June 23rd, 2025, the Commission has received letters of intent from 110 associates. At least that has, nullified the allegation that maybe the president's trying to...
No, but of course I told you that that's just political statement. Nigeria cannot be
a one-party state.
We are too big for that.
But 110, really?
Yeah. And that
if all of them actually meet up with the guidelines, so we'll have 110 parties.
Plus the ones we have now.
Plus the ones we have now that we seem not to have.
But we have them.
But we have them.
We
Okay.
have them. At least some people.
So, and I think that of... wait. There's a party from... Obedient.
Yeah. It's not a party, it's association.
Association right now, yes, but they are trying to become a party.
Obedient, and the rest of one thing.
ADA, yes.
And you see that many of them will not have antenna. There are some parties that doesn't have antenna.
Can they not come together? The wave will be doing like so can't they all come together? At least to reduce it, because I feel like 110 is way too much.
Yeah.
As much as we don't want it to be limited to just one party.
And they are helping Mr. President to achieve his aim.
110.
Because a divided house will not stand.
How is it possible for you to have 110 visions?
It is Nigeria.
Can't we have visions that are like that they can actually, reach a conclusion and probably come together?
Right. They cannot because of interest. And the interest is selfish. Majority of those parties are just fronts. Majority of those associations are just fronts for some big pockets. Big pocketed people. Maybe they know they won't win election, but they know that they will be patronized. They will be adopting the candidate of another party. We have seen them happening in this country. When the Moghalu, Showore, and one of about 5 political parties, came together in 2023. Is that in 2023 or is it 2019? To see if they can, come together to form a coalition against PDP and APC. What happens? They disintegrated. Why? Because the major people they wanted to be president. They want to be the flag bearer of that political entity that was about to be formed. If you read the paper yesterday, that even in the ADA that is being submitted for INET for registration, that they sidelined article in choosing a flag bearer already. Can you imagine? And you can when I read that, I just laughed. I told us that all those coalition and whatever may not see the light of day in the at the end of the day. But what can we do? Let them continue to balkanize this country. It is not the problem of this country. It's not about political parties. The problem of this country is systemic. Not until we get the foundation right. All these political parties coming together is just maybe a the tree, but the tree have to be stood on a ground, a solid ground before it can work. The country itself is not standing, and whatever is placed on it is going to wobble. Like the Yorubas will say, "Abuke one ewo, oni okelenwu we osale." So, amukunjare, sorry for that. So, we have to see not the political parties per se, because like you said, do we have a political party today? Because what makes a political party is not in these parties. One, that is internal democracy themselves. They don't they it's that's why most of them are in disarray today. Even SDP that I thought was standing amongst other of them, it has now been infected with crisis. So what can we do? All this maybe to me, I think they are balkanizing. They are not having a good ground against APC. And if they are doing that, then unfortunately it appears they will be giving Mr. President clean check, open check for him to win the next election, because that is what will happen if we do not have real oppositions. And I'm not sure that we are going to have a real opposition. PDP now, they went to INEC and they came back more divided. What's the other one? SDP. They suspended
their chairman and two others.
Labour Party. They have 4 or 5
That's spirit. Okay, chairman. Yes.
So I don't know which of them again. Majority of the political parties, we have 18 political parties that contested for the presidency then. The rest of them, we do not even hear their names anymore. So I beg, let's change the beat. They are just giving Mr. President good time to enjoy himself and come back the next time.
Right. So let's quickly talk about that one you mentioned, which is the ongoing division among officials of the People's Democratic Party becoming wilder following conflicting directives over the resumption of Samuel Anyanwu, the National Secretary, and the 100th National Executive Committee (NEC) of the party. It all started when Damagun, the acting national chairman of the party, addressed a press conference where he said the party cannot hold its 100th NEC meeting earlier scheduled for next Monday, June 30, in difference to the position of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Damagun also asked Anyanwu to resume his position as the party's national secretary following INEC's refusal to accept his replacement. Damagun, while speaking on the meeting with INEC officials, which ended in deadlock on Tuesday, said the stakeholders later met at the Bauchi Governor's Lodge and took decision to allow Anyanwu resume as the party national secretary. All right, so what do you have to say as regards that?
Well, it's unfortunate. That has been really been the bone of contention in PDP, and of course, they do not even have a substantive chairman, acting chairman. That's all they have, and even the person that would have been the substantive secretary too, they are having issues with it. So it means, in essence, that PDP does not have a head, and the person that doesn't have a head is dead. Because it's the head that is the coordinator of the body. So without the head, things are bad, and that is why it appears PDP doesn't have they don't. It appears they are not functioning, because they are functioning in the negative alone. So why? Of course, I know INEC will not agree for Ude to come back, because the Supreme Court had actually said it was Anyanwu that should be there. So, and if INEC agreed for Ude to come by, then it means they will be contradicting the decision
actually of the court,
of the Supreme Court. So, and I know they won't do that. But again, the problem is this: the constitution of political parties and even the constitution of Nigeria said the internal crisis of a political party is their internal thing, that the court does not have jurisdiction on it.
Okay, so
that's
something they can fix on their own.
That's the position of the constitution, and that's the position of the Supreme Court. That was what the reason the Supreme Court said no, even though the courts below, both the High Court and the Court of Appeal, assume jurisdiction on them, but the Supreme Court said no, you cannot. No, because the Constitution said that the courts do not have jurisdiction to do that. Now the question is, how did Ude became the secretary? Meaning that probably something must have happened somewhere that majority of the people do not vote for him, and whether they voted or whether he was just appointed. So whatever it is, but the Supreme Court said internal crisis regarding who occupies what and what, that's the internal
crisis within the party.
Yeah, within the party. It should be resolved by them. So now they went to
But they can't resolve. They seem not to be able to resolve it on their own.
Because there are two contending parties. The Wiki faction is there, and it appears to be the one that is holding the distance, because Anyanwu belongs to Wiki.
Yeah.
Damagum belongs
because he actually spoke yesterday too.
Yeah, Damagum belongs to Wiki, and you see, until and unless there is no how to tame Wiki or to speak with him so that he can calm down. Because Wiki is not calming down now.
It's not though.
And if it's not calming down,
now if they ought.
if it's not calming down, then
God.
PDP's headache will be getting harder and harder and more and more. So PDP is having a very big headache, and if care is not taken, we have a bigger one before the elections coming. So let's just say PDP, to me, for this election, they are not prepared.
0705 510 33. Our time is fast spent. 0705 510 33 0905 444 1033. Those are the two lines to get used to be a part of the show. But before we take calls, let's quickly go on this commercial break, so there won't be any interruption.
Are you looking for the perfect spot to host your next event? Or maybe a cozy place to relax and have some fun? Welcome to Feniel Multipurpose Hall. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, seminar, or family gathering, our event center is perfectly designed to give you a grand experience. You can as well watch football matches at our viewing center, which brings the stadium experience right to you. For the kids, our children playground is packed with fun and safety. We also have a game center with varieties to keep the fun going, and a guest house for relaxation and comfort. Why settle for less when you have the best? Located beside Eagle Flight Academy, Amero, along Oki Ogunbade axis, Ibadan. Visit Femiel Multipurpose Hall today or call us on 0912 345 4561 or 0904 245 5770 for bookings and inquiries. Femiel Multipurpose Hall. Experience more, enjoy more.
0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
My
morning
name is
to you, sir.
Alabi from Lakashebolu.
You're welcome.
I just want to comment on the issue of INEC, who said about 110 political association seeking registration as a political party. From my point of view, this year they are too much. The most lucrative job in Nigeria today is politics. You will see a primary school school order. As a councillor, you'll be receiving 500,000 per month. That's why everybody is seeking who wants to be a politician. It is they make this thing less attractive. How can 110 be seeking a political registration? They don't have interest of Nigeria. The best is to make it less attractive. That's why we can have a political peace in Nigeria. Secondly, on the issue of federal government, we say that they are going to head manufacturer assembly is responsible for the waste. The duty of government to turn waste into wealth instead of saying they will hold responsible. Have a nice working day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Evangelist.
How are you, my dear sister?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
My body, sir.
Good morning this morning, sir.
I
do questions, sir. You know,
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I am Evangelist Olataro from Bukwaraba. Collusion or no collusion, APC is going. We the masses, we sent the APC out. They have not done well. Whether any permutation cannot work, any fee cannot work by the grace of God. We the masses, we send them out. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. 0705 510 33 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, you can try call us back. All right, while we expect calls, we're going to take comment from the Facebook page, but not after we've heard from barristers regards what the Labour Party presidential candidate in the last general election, Peter Obi, called on President Tinubu to prioritize the security of Nigerians over infrastructural project, saying that the country is effectively at war. And he actually made that statement, on his X handle following the killings of over 100 persons, including military personnel in Zamfara State, by suspected terrorists. While we are still in the furor of what is happening in Benue State, Zamfara is in the news for the wrong reasons as well. All right, before you take that your reaction.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Daddy Ayodele.
Good morning, ma.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you, sir.
My barrister, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning, sir.
I was so nice, sir.
Very well, thank you, sir.
I'm the next speaking from Alakia. I hope you are hearing me, ma.
Yes, we can.
Okay, ma. You see, at times I used to laugh when we are saying that I'm not trying to against the opinion of other people. If these politicians know that the votes of the common of the citizens are counting, or we can't, they won't be behaving the way we are doing.
Of course.
We are only voting, and they have the power of the INEC with them. So by saying that we vote them out, the same thing we have been saying all these years. Yes, they will still do whatever they want to like. And that is why they are not ready to do the right thing, because they know that either you vote or not, they will still manage their way through. Yeah, I want to ask a question, sir, my barrister.
All right, sir.
All these exorbitant registration fees that the INEC is...
Ouch.
Ooh. Okay, maybe you try call us back and ask that question. So, yes, do you agree that President Tinubu is actually prioritizing infrastructure over security of Nigerians?
Of course, that's the only thing he's doing. And the infrastructures that he said he was doing, none of them passed through the appropriate agencies of government for verification and approval before. For instance, the Calabar
Coastal
Highway. Nobody knew it, how anything about it. It just came and the money, some paid and all that. And before you know what, they were commissioning less than 30 kilometers of it. Okay, I beg. Mr. President likes infrastructure, and that is what he said he was doing. In fact, within these 2 years, you will see very, very ambitious infrastructures. We have Lagos to Sokoto Highway, we have Lagos Calabar Highway, we have, I think, Calabar to Maiduguri or whatever highway, that is connecting almost all the countries together, and that is not small money, and probably those things they really don't pass through the processes. And when it comes to security, all we heard is that Egbetokun, what happened to what now? How happened to arrest the people that killed in Yelweta and all that? Fortunately, Mr. Egbetokun is making arrest now. Probably if Mr. President sits up and talks to his officers, maybe they will perform better. Because before Mr. President told Egbetokun to start arresting, nothing was done. He said he was going to Ogbetokun, have you been arresting? And Ogbetokun suddenly arrested about 54 people. You can imagine. So and the chief of defense staff actually told us that the problem is not the people, is instigated by hunger and poverty. And we've been saying that on this platform, that the hand that is not working is a devil's workshop. If you do not have anything to do, and if there is hunger, anybody can influence you. And like Obasanjo said, the person who feeds you can actually enslave you.
Hello. Sorry. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Daily.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
My friend.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes,
morning.
sir. Good morning this morning, sir.
Yes, I am Steve Daily.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, maybe because of my love towards your I-FLIER,
Okay.
that's what I met here. I said I should have visit you, and I went there. I did not say what any one of you. Let me go to the phone today. Regarding the prospective or proposal of Tinubu that Rasta stated, none of them is actualized. That's where you can see it's failure. Not only that, see how our naira is today. They have allowed dollar to take over. Imagine. And when you look at the word patriotism, I don't see patriotism in their life. They believe that they can calculate to calculate that they want to make it. They are living an emotional life. They I believe to be the associate of Wiki. The program I just started because it's an insider. It's a representative of Wiki. I want to tell you, Tinubu, they failed to realize that Wiki extension is still there. In as much as they are it's a candidate that it should be there. The fear of Wiki in the party is the problem. There is no amount of coalition that can assist Tinubu because of what? Tinubu as well is a benefit of coalition. But if that is the case for PDP now, to have what kind of coalition, other coalition to assist in, because the people is having said, call a card in Yoruba, anywhere you see it can do, you'll be feeling the smell, fight to hold on, or it is taken away. And Baba, I didn't say that the problem today we have is what do you call it? Systemic problem. That's my submission. Please, that's the reason why Nigeria is still crawling. We're talking. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. 0705 510 33. A quick look at the Facebook page. Timoni Baba from Iyano Fatipe Academy, thank you very much. And Pastor Dr. Mukela Famiwa sent his greeting to all of us. On Tinubu's comment that coalition cannot unseat him, is unfortunate that the current administration is anti-masses. He should do all within him to help masses by doing the needful. Thank you very much. Tolulope Adeyemi says, good morning, Marvelous and Adadi in the house. The fresh attack on military base in Niger State by bandits is not a good one, but it's a clear pointer to the fact that the worst days of insecurities are not over in the country, and as such, it's high time the federal government told a new part in curbing the menace of insecurity and stop playing politics, because doing things same way can never yield different results. They should grant state police's security is local, simple. And we also have this one from Sulaiman Sheriff. He says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. Either 2027 coalition promoters are political IDPs, not. This means Tinubu himself was a political IDP in 2013 when he joined the National Coalition, which registered APC as a political party for 2015. Let us wait and see. But Mr. President should remember the coalition brought APC to power in 2015. Lastly, the masses, the poor and the hungry Nigerians would decide their destiny in 2027 general elections. We hope so, Sulaiman. All right, Tolu Lope also added by saying the ongoing coalition talks by the opposition would have been the best way to deliver Nigerians from the maladministration of this APC-led federal government. But it's quite disheartening that we might not have any solid coalition ahead of 2027 due to their selfish interest. And also Sulaiman also added by saying Ayawo that is working for APC is coming back to be your secretary, someone who is supporting Wike. No reasonable person will accept it. Supreme Court and pronounced that the crisis in PDP is their internal affairs to be solved by them. I'm still surprised that PDP cannot muster up the courage to remove Senator Sam Ayawu for the party to reorganize and re-strategize for 2027. I wonder too. Alright, Ademola Adebayo says Tinubu started fulfilling his promises from the first day in office. He promised to remove subsidy, and he did. He promised not to open border, and truly he didn't open it. He promised to work on security, and he holds meetings regularly with security chiefs. Please leave Tinubu alone. Come 2027, gullibility or skepticism will in the Nigerian people. Alright, as for PDP, the party is gone. They should just leave the party for Wike to do whatever he wants to do with that party. For Wike to remain in PDP, the party will not work. It remains in PDP just to help APC. So let's forget PDP nationally, though it can still function in some states. God bless I-FLIER. Thank you very much. Adebayo from Fakumbi Okyoshun. And Imafoje Peter. Wow. Good to see you or to hear from you this morning. On the issue of rising cost of petroleum, both Port Harcourt refinery are in full capacity, while the fuel importation again. Possibly President Tinubu is under duress to continue the importation. What a shameful and hopeful situation. God, we need competent leaders to manage this country. Hardship is too much. We are in God's hands in this country.
But and that refinery is
not working. Okay. All right. Prince Bumi Adefuse says, good morning to you, marvelous and the brilliant analyst. If the largest party in West Africa must move forward, all the allies of Nyesom Wike must not hold any post in People's Democratic Party, PDP. Coming from Prince Bumi Adefusi. Thank you all for your amazing comments and thank you for your calls. Sorry, we're only able to take limited calls for this morning. Forces that be, including that of Felicia, would not allow us take more than this for this morning. Thank you all for giving us the last 1 hour of your time. Tomorrow is another time for us to do this again. This time we're going to be joining Samson Omotosho and Honorable Femi Adebisi. A big thank you to you, Barrister Folusho Olapo.
You are most welcome, darling.
A big thank you to Felicia Ogurinde. She's our studio manager this morning as well. I am marvelous Shobalujo Idele. Have a fruitful day.
Have you ever craved undiluted, phenomenal entertainment? Breaking news within and around the world. Music, sports, educative program, and a whole lot more. No other station does it better. Tune in to I-FLIER 103.3 FM. The first entertainment station in Nigeria.
àgbà ní máa jorí àdán ọmọ kékeré ní máa jorí eku ìkànnì aláṣẹlà 103.3 FM lóòótọ́ àgbàlẹ́tù ọmọdé làwọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ á máa gbọ́.
ni wọ́n kéré sí nọ́mbà wa wọ́n kéré sí nọ́mbà bàbá wọ́n kéré sí nọ́mbà wa àwọn ọmọdé wọ̀nyí kéré sí nọ́mbà wa.
I-FLIER Radio 103.3 FM ìkànnì aláṣẹlà èrè lónìí gbọ́ ẹ̀fà lọ́lọ́dà ẹ má fẹ́ yí ògòǹgò wẹ́tà tí òro kò jọra wọn. I-FLIER Radio 103.3 iléeṣẹ́ rédíò amóhùnbúgbàmù ó búra gẹ́gẹ́ búyọ ó bá wọn lọ́nà ó yà wọ́n sílẹ̀ ó takú sókè téńté. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti gbé síbẹ̀ láàárọ̀ kùtù àì ẹ̀ní fẹ́ gbé kúrò níbẹ̀ dálẹ́gbẹ̀rẹ́ orin àgbọ̀fikọ́gbẹ́. ìròyìn tí ò ní kọ́nu kọ́hàn nínú àwọn ètò alárinrin ọ̀kọ́ ọ̀jọ̀ kan tí wọnú etí lọ ní fọnrán tolúkọyìn eré ìdárayá kárí ayé gbígbé àṣà àdáyébá àwọn baba ńlá wa lárugẹ. ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wa kájí ó gbogbo àyín jẹ kẹ́ ẹ̀ fi gbogbo ara sajẹ́ bíi sẹ́sẹ́ fún I-FLIER ìkànnì aláṣẹlà tiwantiwa ọwọ́jà rẹ̀ kálékáko ọ̀nà ìyẹ́sá dókè òkun gbàgbàgbà gbogbo èèyàn ẹ wá bá wa ní jẹ̀bútú re I-FLIER rédíò 103.3 FM Ògúngbadé tòsí ẹgbẹ́dá bàdàn láwà rédíò aláṣẹlà tiwantiwa òkú òsè fi wí ọ̀sà ẹjẹ́ àjọ máa gbọ́ nìtó.
kẹtẹpẹ ìròyìn tẹ́tìrẹ́ títí lóde o ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọpọ̀. kẹtẹpẹ ìròyìn tẹ́tìrẹ́ títí lóde o ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọpọ̀. ó kálẹ̀ ó kákó gbogbo wa ló ń gbọ́ o ìròyìn káàkiri àgbáyé bó ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní yàjóyàjó là ń gbọ́ kẹtẹpẹ ìròyìn tẹ́tìrẹ́ títí lóde o ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọpọ̀. kẹtẹpẹ ìròyìn tẹ́tìrẹ́ títí lóde o ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọpọ̀. àní ó kálẹ̀ ó kákó gbogbo wa ló ń gbọ́ o ìròyìn káàkiri àgbáyé bó ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní yàjóyàjó là ń gbọ́ kẹtẹpẹ. ìròyìn tẹ́ ń retí dé o. kẹtẹpẹ